What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your host, Vegeta Almighty here, of course, with my esteemed co-host, Jin. How are you doing today?
Oh, not so bad, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty god-awful.
Isn't everybody?
It's a rainy day. I'm tired. I just feel like crap today because it's just so yucky outside, and God, I hate myself for saying that way. But this is part one of our big recording session that we're doing here in the early months of the summer. Summer of dual wield, so to speak. So let's start this. Let's start this first batch off. This first part of this big batch of episodes that we're recording at once with a fantastic little piece I like to call Vegeta didn't know what the fuck we were going to talk about for this first part, so we're just going to talk for a minute.
Vegeta dropped the ball.
Vegeta definitely dropped the ball. You know what's...
You didn't even drop the ball. You just said fuck it and yeeted it.
Actually, to be honest, you know what kind of pisses me off?
What's up?
I had a whole fucking notepad full of like episode ideas.
Uh-huh.
I just deleted it completely on accident as I was restarting my computer for work the other day. I was doing...
Bro, why didn't you save it in your phone, though?
Well, I was typing it up on here because I got this new freaking keyboard, and I was like, I want to hear the clicky clacks. Also, it doesn't help that I was doing something on my phone at the time. And by that, I mean I was watching a YouTube video, which I could also have done on my laptop, I suppose. But
listen, bro, I'm just saying, you and I, neither one of us have an excuse for not having some form of note-taking ability, considering that you have a literal note
yes,
phone.
I know.
And, like, I have the S22 Ultra, which is essentially a
note
goddamn
phone.
note.
Also, shout out to Samsung if you want to sponsor us.
Right.
So, yeah, give us a
Samsung, we
call.
love your phones.
He likes Apple. I am not a big fan of Apple, but I will be a fan for the right dollar signs. So...
Listen, so that's actually one of the big things is a lot of people are like, oh, Apple's better, oh, Samsung's better, blah blah blah. Really, what it comes down to is personal preference. Samsung gives you more control. It gives you the ability to customize it. You know, it has better hardware in it, better processing.
Which
more
you know
RAM.
me. I'm all about the freedom, the freedom
absolutely.
of choice.
The control and all that stuff. You want to be able to customize your phone to what you want it to be.
I've not had much choice over my life.
So the one little
thing, yeah.
But with Apple, what it is it's more streamlined.
It's the ease of use.
It really is. Apple's philosophy is that they want you to be able to just pick up the phone and use it and be able to go and do the things. They understand that a phone, despite what else it can be, is essentially, to most people, nothing more than just a gateway to apps. And so that's the way that they treat it. It's a gateway to apps. You can do some cool things to customize it now. They've brought in a whole bunch of different features and stuff. But yeah, it's just a different philosophy.
It's the design philosophy, yeah. It's one of those things where it's like any mad bastard can pick up an iPhone and immediately know what he's doing. That being said...
Well, it's like I tell my customers all the time. This phone is literally designed for children. Like, I'm not even playing. It is designed for children. It is designed to be that easy. My 6-year-old can pick up an iPhone and know what to do immediately. Whereas, and he can do the same thing with an Android, but the difference is with an Android, he's only going to get the basic thing that comes with the phone because he doesn't understand how to actually go in and customize everything.
You know the saddest part about this whole thing with iPhone's design philosophy is?
What's that?
Geico beat him by a few years. So easy, a caveman could do it. Like, that's just marketing gold that was left on the table that they weren't able to capitalize on. And that's in an alternate timeline somewhere. Geico didn't come up with that, and iPhone's using that as their slogan.
It was Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yeah.
Steve Jobs paid the guy from Geico, said, "Hush, I'll give you $1 million if you let me use that slogan."
I don't know why that popped into my head, but in an alternate timeline.
Oh, you definitely fucked something up.
You did something wrong.
I didn't do anything.
Something got unplugged. Talk.
That's gonna be horrible.
That's gonna be. So yeah, let's try not to pull on that.
Let's yeah. I didn't even pull.
It's that thing.
I
I'm
literally
using.
like laughed and moved a little bit, and it was still in range.
Yeah,
It wasn't
it's
even a
something.
tug.
You just gotta be careful. This thing is a bit finicky.
Anyway, let's edit all of that.
We are definitely editing that out. What you
But-
missed was a laugh of me talking about the gecko and a turtleneck coming on. Hey, mate.
That's wonderful. But yeah, that's basically what it comes to. That and iPhone puts a lot more emphasis on things like FaceTime. That is the number one thing I always hear people talk about when it comes to iPhones. But
we can
Android
FaceTime.
can't FaceTime.
We have Google
Android
Duo.
doesn't have FaceTime. Yeah, and somebody tried to argue about that with me the other day too. Like, yeah, but that's a whole other thing I have to download. I was like, dude, it comes with Android phones,
Yeah,
just like
even-
FaceTime comes with iPhones. What
Even
the hell?
now, they're implementing a video call feature standard for Samsung phones.
Yeah, like, and
Yes,
yes,
granted-
they're behind the curve, but
They're not even behind the curve on that. It eliminates bloatware if you think about it. Because what if I have a little rinky-dink phone for my grandma who doesn't really do that stuff like that, and she needs that storage space for like a healthcare app or something or another. It frees up that space on her phone. Again, that comes with that customizability that you're talking about. I mean, granted, it's a phone. It's a modern-day product. Of course, it's going to have bloatware on it, but it has less bloatware than an iPhone does.
iPhone actually doesn't have a whole lot of bloatware.
But how
You
much can you
see-
actually get rid of?
As far as like the iPhone stuff, you can get rid of almost all of the iPhone stuff except for the App Store.
Really?
The only thing that basically you can nowadays they've made it to where you
I
can
stand
turn
corrected.
your iPhone into a Google phone. Like you can use Google
Well,
services.
yeah.
And
But how hard do you
basically,
have to work to do that?
you don't.
You don't have to have any know-how.
Yeah, no, it's literally just it's deleting the current apps that are on there for the things that you don't want, and then downloading Google Drive. Google
Oh,
Duo,
well, yeah.
Google,
I mean, yeah, you
all
can do
of
that. I
stuff.
thought you meant, like, you can't use the Play Store, though, so.
No, you can't. Like I said, you can get rid
Yeah, I know
of
you can get
everything
Drive and
but
shit
the
like
Apple
that.
Play Store, and yeah, no,
Well, see, that's
I'm sure
the
that
thing.
there's ways to jailbreak it to where you could probably use the
Yeah.
Google Play Store, but in all reality, there's really nothing wrong with the Apple App Store.
Well, see, that's the thing. Sorry to cut you off again, but that's
You're
the
good.
thing is it's like without the Google Play Store, you're not getting Google Play services. So that's what kind of the big difference between if you want to be honest, at the end of the day, that's what the difference between an Android and an iPhone is you got iOS and Android, which uses Google Play services for a lot of its shit.
right.
Which, I mean, I love Google Play services. I think it's pretty good.
So what part of, because I never actually use Google Play services.
Yeah, you do. You just don't know that you're using it.
like explain to me what some of the services.
So anything that basically runs the Google, like the Google Play Store, like your YouTube, your Google search, like, because you can download Chrome on iPhones if I'm not mistaken, right? But that's still powered by iPhone's infrastructure.
Right.
Where it's basically what it is. It's kind of like an OS within an OS, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of. Okay.
So like I have a Fire tablet that I've jailbroken and downloaded Google Play services for, because otherwise it would just run on the Fire. Google Play services, like the vast majority of what most people would like. What it matters is it affects the apps, the App Store, but it also on Android it ties into like your YouTube, your Drive, your Gmail, and shit like that. Whereas you don't need Google Play services on an Android to use that. I'm not or an Android iPhone. I'm not super familiar with the infrastructure on an iPhone, again because I've never been a huge fan of iPhone.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, you know why I hate? Like I've always had this hatred for Apple products.
What is that?
It's the dumbest reason. iTunes felt like Nazi Germany to me. Like, that was the main reason I despised Apple for the longest time. iTunes was such a restrictive, like, Fourth Reich kind of situation to me. Like, I hated, like, and that kind of goes into that whole design philosophy again, of like the illusion of choice as opposed to the freedom of choice. Yeah, so it's like I hate being told no. I mean, I think most people do, but at the same time, I hate being told what I can and can't do.
Yeah.
I do whatever I want. Bite me. Like, so that's been my biggest issue with Apple products as a whole. And then early Macs were weird.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Mac products. Like, I've never been a fan of them. If you're gonna do some like editing or do some kind of media type stuff, Macs that's what they're built for.
I would have a Mac only for that. Like, there would be nothing on it, but like
stuff for that. Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That and GarageBand.
Right.
It's like
one thing I will give Apple though, Apple Arcade is something that's wonderful. I don't know if you can get it on Android. I haven't really tried.
Remind me again what the arcade is.
So Apple Arcade is something where it's kind of like you get to download games if you are subscribed to the Apple Arcade, which my family, we have Apple One.
It costs money. Apple One, that's hilarious.
Yes.
Because I have Google One, by the way.
That is hilarious. So it's called Apple One, and what it is, it gives you Apple Fitness, Apple TV, Apple News, Apple Arcade, all of that kind of stuff, Apple Music. It includes all of those services, which is actually for 5 people, $25 a month.
$25 a month
so
for 5 people.
That's not bad at all.
What about storage? Does it give you storage?
Yeah, you can actually get cloud storage with it too.
How much?
If I'm not mistaken, it's like 2 terabytes.
Dear God. Like Google, step it up. Google One just gives me 200 gigabytes. Now, to be fair, I pay $2 a month for Google One.
Yeah.
It doesn't come with anywhere near the kind of stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think, because I know we don't get any music, but then again, we have so many free different ways of listening to music on Google that we don't need Apple Music.
Right, but getting back to it really quick to answer your question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Apple Arcade it has its own games on there, where you can download it, and there are no microtransactions in these games. These are basically single-player games.
Yeah. So
anyway, so basically, they're free to play, or they're not free to play, but they're games that are included in your Apple Arcade subscription. If you have Apple One, it's included in that, where they're basically like single-player or multiplayer games that there are no microtransactions. They're just there to play and have fun, and some of them are actually really good. Like, you have Oceanhorn 2, which is basically an open-world RPG. You have a whole bunch of different ones. You have like a Lego RTS game.
Oh, lol.
Yeah, not even joking, and it's actually fun. And just a whole bunch of different games like that. So like they're the games that are provided to you.
The premium games that you don't have to pay individually for, basically.
Exactly, and that have no. Again, I can't stress it enough because it's one of my favorite things about it is that there are no microtransactions in any of these games.
So we have something similar. We have, I say we, but you have an Android.
Yes, my main phone is a Samsung. So.
I keep forgetting you also have an Android.
Yeah.
We have Google Play Pass,
yeah.
Which is very similar to that. We actually have included with our phone plan.
Mm-hmm.
Premium games for free, considering I have the subscription. There's more to it than that. I have to go into it's. I think it's pretty much the same thing. I think because there are games that still have microtransactions. Like, I can't just go on Dokkan and rack up on fucking stones for absolutely no cost.
As much as it would be nice.
As much as that would be fantastic, and I would actually play the game then at that point.
But actually, That's actually one of my favorite things about the Play Store versus the Apple Store. So, like, in the Play Store, when I spend money on a microtransaction, they'll give you a certain amount of points. Once you hit a certain amount of points, a lot of games that are on the store, so, like, for instance, the game that I play, Summoner's War, I had, like, over 1,000 Google points because I had never spent them before, and I just saved up and saved up. I don't do microtransactions that often.
But when you do,
but when I do, it's
for Dos Equis.
Yeah, right, right. I'm for Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Yeah.
But no, when I do, it's I redeem the points, and it like basically gave me a coupon for like $20. So I could, as long as I spent like an extra 10 or something like that, I could redeem that coupon or like get $20 off of something. So if I bought like a pack that was $100, then I'd only end up spending 80 for it instead of the full 100. So
that's pretty cool there,
but
Doc.
Apple doesn't do that. Apple doesn't have that as far as I know. So.
Yeah, I'm not aware of anything like that. Fuck, that took me all the way out. I had a thought on my lips, but that shit just I got
you said something.
Laughing behind my microphone over there.
Are you talking about my ringtone?
Yeah, fucking I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah.
Listen, Tombstone's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's a fantastic film.
And Doc Holliday is just amazing.
So, he's like,
Val Kilmer is
you're not Huckleberry. You're not. He went Joker for a second there.
Val Kilmer is absolutely
It's a
terrific.
great film. It's a national treasure. He's a national treasure for that. What the fuck was I about to say, though?
I don't remember. It was something about the Google Play Store.
I'm sure it was. Oh, get Google Opinion Rewards. That's the thing you can download, and then like it just like monitors like your location and your Google searches, and then it asks you.
For those of you that have the tin hat syndrome, this is
not for you. Right. It monitors your location to see what locations you've been to. And then occasionally you'll get a survey asking you, hey, which of the following places... It just kind of... It helps improve the GPS, like the maps feature. And it helps... They also have every now and then they'll ask you a question about, hey, which of the followings did you recently Google search for? It improves it's improving their algorithm. It's all it is. They're not selling your information or anything like that. They're just using it to improve the services that you already use.
Gotcha.
So, and you get like it's just chump change here and there, but it racks up. Like at one point, mom had like $15 in credits just from answering these little surveys.
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah, and you can use it on anything in the Play Store. Like I've bought whole movies off of that. Movies, episodes of TV shows, CDs. Like I bought, and I'm kind of pissed about this. I bought a whole album off of it one time. It was a terrible album, but
what album was that?
I don't want to say because I don't want to become famous for the wrong things. I don't want to be a too.
No.
So,
no. Bro, you're gonna get us canceled before we even.
I'm editing that out. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not saying whose album it was.
This motherfucker said I don't want to be in.
Sueña. What do you do, Mama? Oh, we get copyright strikes for that. But with on that note, I think we're gonna end this clusterfuck of an episode right here.
Sounds good.
And we're going to spend a few minutes behind the scenes figuring out what the hell we're going to talk about in the next one. So,
thank you so much for joining. What the fuck was that?
That was lunch. That was lunch coming back up to say goodbye to everyone. This episode sucked. Yeah, so
Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Y'all have a great day.
What he said.